Welcome to the weekly roundup, Division 2.
Okay, we'll keep going.
Yeah, no, we're good with it. We've had a bit of an outtake. We're going to fire through because Broadies back-to-back wins.
What is going
over
on?
Holding Nations. You're on it, aren't you, Darcy?
What is going on?
Something in the water down there.
There was something, 2 wins in a row, TJ. There was something going on down there. They've done everything they can to avoid relegation. They're still sitting bottom, but they're only one game away from Pembroke and Scotch to avoid that relegation.
And good on them. I've always, obviously, I've lived near there, and it's been a club, a lot of friends over the years through there. And I was there Friday night coaching for the Bays, and still one of the great barbecues. Organisation, friendliness, and making a fat boy happy. The Broadies burger is fantastic. Bacon, egg. So they're good people at Broadview. I like them, and I wish
them. Isn't it an older
the
club? A lot of old guys still hang around the club, still put their hand up, and that's exactly what clubs are about.
Yeah, and you know what they have? They have their locals that come in specifically just to be at the club. So no, it's a good club. Well done, Broadview. And
so yeah, they took an Old Iggy's 14 goals, 15-99, defeated Old Iggy's 8-12-60. So a massive win there at Broadview, 2 in a row.
And came from behind as well, Darcy. Behind for nearly 3 quarters. Yep. So 4 Broadies, Shepherd kicked 4, Kennedy 3 were the main destroyers, while Sladen, big Braden the Prince in ruck, the fresh Prince of Braden, were the best players. 4 Old Iggy's.
Old Iggy's got Christopherson with 3, a Little with 2, and Vowner also with 2. I'll say Pisani's an individual goal scorer there. Christopherson was the best player.
You just left him off, you would have got it wrong.
Never mind. Christopherson with 3 goals, best player Murdoch and Centrina. The best players as well. So
good win for Broadview there. It breathes life into their season, and perhaps they're not done in this division like we thought perhaps they were. So a proud club, and we said they'd never been to Division 3. Well, maybe they won't.
Proud Division 1 club for many years, of course.
Yeah, they still sit bottom, but they are within striking distance of both Scotch and Pembroke. Speaking of Pembroke, 10 goals, 12-72. Couldn't quite get the job done against Gazer, 12-13-85. A 13-point loss, and look. All day it was 13 points at half time, 16 at three-quarter time, so they were in the mix but couldn't quite get it done. Dave Aloka returned for Gazer and kicked 3 along with Carr. Skinner was judged their best, and they've done that without Heinze, so it's a good win for Gazer. They've got to make sure they win probably 2 of the 3 without Heinze just to make sure.
Controversial circumstances, but he's out for 3 games. 3 games he got, but that's okay.
For Pembroke.
Yeah, Williams with 2, Marini with 2, Fowles also with 2, and then the individuals just to follow the players there with Connors. He also kicked the goal. Connors' best players with Pengelly and Williams in amongst the best players. So good with that, the Gazer. That's sort of they're sitting there. They're 4th at the moment, and Pembroke are struggling. They could get. They're definitely in the relegation.
It's another 3-way dance for that relegation. Exactly. We've got 3 teams battling out for 2 relegation spots. Not a race you want to lose. Okay, only Mercedes and Sacred Heart. Only one person tipped this one on the channel last week.
That was you?
Yes, yeah, that's about right. Out of necessity, they absolutely had to win, or they would have been 2 games and 7% outside of the 5. Well, they did win. They've taken a scalp. Only Mercedes 11-7-73, Sacred Heart 6-14-50. Bad kicking's bad football, Darcy, isn't it?
And they would have been shattered about that. It's a fairly big margin there, shock. So they're still in the 5, but gee whiz, 6-14.
Quite a shock.
Yep.
For the Jets, it was Heaslip was the main destroyer with 3. William Coombs in his first game was best on ground, so that's a good way to have an impact, with Walker and Duval contributing as well. And
for Sacred Heart, they're all individual goal scorers, so the 6 of them there with Keane, Peake and Brooks in amongst the best players.
Yep. Our next one is, well, I deem it an upset because 3rd has beaten 2nd, and now they are only 2 percentage points behind them. But the Raggies at home are proving hard to beat. And look, the scoreline says it's pretty close, but if you look at I'll give you the score: 13-13-91 Athelston, Foss Cannon 11-12-78. We were following this closely because Athelston update their website on a Saturday, so you can actually follow the game, and they were up 11 goals to 4 at three-quarter time, so game was in the bag.
Yeah.
For Athelston,
exactly.
Sykes kicked 4, Elliott 3. Mazuris, who continues to get in the best players each week, was in their best with Tarka and Swift.
And Foss, he got Harris with 5 goals out of the 11 there, so well done to Harris, with all the rest being individual goal scorers, with Cross, Cunning and May in the best players. Yeah,
I'll just mention as well for Foss Camden, great to see Dean Benici kicked a goal there on the weekend and got in the best players. He's a young fellow who's just come out. He was one of my work experience boys. School work experience, and he's just come out of the junior programs at Glenelg. Obviously, Foster's a Glenelg club. Wish him all the best. Hopefully, he can string some good football together, and you never know, he might win a premiership.
Absolutely,
in his teenage years, which is very, very hard to do, unless you're Kane Johnson, who won back-to-back premierships and then went to Richmond. Oh, what a mistake! Anyway. Picked the wrong 30 years to go to Richmond.
Yes.
All right, mate. It's Henley and
No
Scotch. We
surprises
said
here
this would get
whatsoever.
ugly, and it was uglier than staring into the piss trough after a big night. It was. Just made that one up there. Fair old metaphor, wasn't it?
Come from nowhere.
Stiffy Johncock kicked 6 for Henley. Oh, there's a big speck on my computer. I can't see how to say this. Longman kicked 5. Enright, Stiffy, and Longman were the best players. With Timmy Broadbent, I haven't seen him in the best players much this year.
No, he hasn't.
So it's
either.
been good. And for Scotch.
They said young Enright, he's obviously left the Eagles last year. Dad been a legend at West Torrens, of course. Good to see him back in the best players as well. John Cock as well, though. He's been around there for a long time at Henley, John Cock. So.
How's the second quarter? So it's 2 points the difference. So before you do the Scotch best, 2 points up Scotch are at quarter time. They've probably gone into quarter time. All right, boys, this is it. Second quarter, they've come out and they've kicked the point. But Henley have kicked 11-2.
Yep.
11-2. How do you let a team kick 11-2? I know Ian Steele's not the coach there anymore, is he?
No, he's not. He's the president now.
Who's the coach of Scotch now? Do we remember? Kim Cobb. Cobby threw a couple of players behind the ball, mate. Against his old team as well. I would have thrown half the team behind the ball.
But,
anyway,
for Scotch, got Marlson with 2, Mansfield also with 2, with Langonic, Giles and Thorpe in amongst the best players for Scotch.
Yeah, Thorpe. I haven't. Just have a quick look at this. Thorpe, you haven't seen. He's played all 12 games. Will Thorpe hasn't been the best players a lot. So, yeah, maybe just a few players having a down year. Yeah, he's a good player. I know. That's why I just checked. Looking at the ladder, we've talked about the ladder a lot. 8-4, 8-4, 8-4. Foss, Camden, Athelston, and Gaze are sitting second and fourth, second through to fourth. That's the interesting part of the ladder for me. And then, of course, you've got your battle for fifth between Scotch, Sacred Heart and Huntley Mercedes, and then you battle down the bottom for relegation. Henley will finish top. On to this week's games, Darcy. What tickles your little Darcy bone?
Nothing tickles the first one. Broadview and Gazer, I think Gazer are going to do it pretty comfortably out there at Broadview, you would think.
So the Prince in ruck could give Broadview first use. No Hines. Every time we've watched Gazer twice, we've done 2 live calls. The first time Hines took 10 marks, the second time he took 14 marks. You take those marks out of the game, and it makes me think, can Broadview cause an upset?
Broadview are 2 in a row, and you never know, but I still think Gazer are going to win just from past experience or past what's happened this year, but Broadview they could come with a bit of a shock with their big run home this year.
Oh, I don't know, Darcy. I don't know.
Is TJ going to call this?
I don't know. I'm going to do it.
I'll write this down.
Gazer to win just.
TJ. Oh, he did. I was going to write that down, say TJ. Remind him next week.
If Gazer weren't in such a tight dogfight, I think maybe they could drop it, but they've got to be acutely aware. And they've got plenty of experienced players. Frederick, Radetti, plenty of players. Aloka. They only need a couple of them to really have big games, and they should get the job done.
Yeah, I think they're all being like this game here. Foss Camden take on Pembroke. I think Pembroke.
They do it like this. It's second versus eighth.
Second versus eighth. Nothing tickles my fancy about this game, but I think Foss Camden
will bounce back after their loss and win by 6 goals.
And at Foss Camden Oval as well.
Well, there's game of the round. We'll leave that one.
Yes. Old Eagles take on only Mercedes Jets. Old Eagles from their loss last week against Broadview. Will they come back and play only Jets? Only Jets are just out of the 5, I think. Yep, they are 6. So I'm still going for only Jets just, but I think Old Eagles are going to put up a bit of a fight after they lost last week.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. Old Eagles, it's all about tackling pressure around the ball. If they've got that tackling pressure up, their midfield creates stoppages, and they're very good on the clearance and the spread. Only Mercedes for mine.
Yep. And then the second last game, Sacred Heart versus Scotch. Again, we got Sacred Heart. They're doing okay versus Scotch aren't. They're in 9th position at the moment. Started
the year on a house on fire. Wayne Knowles tipped them to make the grand final. I won't let him forget it. Well, maybe I did. No, I think it was me.
They're in 5th, 1 game in...
No, it was Wayne Knowles. I tipped Foss.
1 game clear on 5th.
He said it would be a Henley Sacred Heart grand final. I said Henley and Foss. I'm looking good at this stage. I think they'll win this comfortably, but geez, they have hit a bit of a hole. But should bounce back. But mate, the game of the round, without a doubt, it's 1v3. But Athelston, again, they're only percentage off of second spot. So they made a grand final last year. Henley got relegated last year. It's worlds are colliding here. It's at Henley Memorial, and that for me is the clincher.
Yeah, that's it. The clincher at Henley. They're very hard to beat. Big crowds down there. They've got a long history of old players going there to watch, and I think there is a show this weekend, a past player show of some sort, from something on there, and I think Henley for me. Yeah,
Henley, Athelston, I saw only Mercedes get a hold of Athelston's midfield. Well, Henley's midfield is the best in the competition. I expect them to give their forwards first use, and they'll get the trophies. Thanks for watching Div 2, we're back next week.
See ya.